My granddaughter called at 2:47 a.m. Grandma, the baby's sick. My stepmom left days ago. Dad's in space. He thinks everything's fine because she lied to him. I tried to tell him the truth. He didn't believe me. I canceled my retirement cruise and took the first plane. When I arrived, I decided to use every skill I'd learned in 35 years as a police commander, and my daughter-in-law wasn't ready for what came next. Emma's basically my free nanny. Pulling her from school meant no more teachers asking questions. Those words came from my son's wife, recorded on camera, admitting she turned my 16-year-old granddaughter into unpaid labor. And my son, my astronaut son, floating 254 miles above Earth, had no idea. How does a mother watch her child become a stranger? My name is Janet Washington. I'm 68 years old. I live in New Orleans, Louisiana. And for 35 years, I wore a badge for the police department, retired commander, homicide division. I thought I'd seen every kind of predator there was. I was wrong. My phone rang at 2:47 in the morning. I knew, the way you know when you've spent 35 years answering calls in the dark, that this one would change everything. My granddaughter's name lit up the screen. Emma. The girl I hadn't been allowed to see in 2 years. The girl whose stepmother convinced my son I was toxic and needed to be cut off. My hand shook as I grabbed the phone. Not from age, from knowing. Emma. Grandma. Her voice was breaking apart. Grandma, I can't do this anymore. 35 years of reading voices in the dark taught me to recognize terror. The tremor, the catch, the way words break when someone's hit their limit. This was a child at breaking point. My granddaughter was drowning. Baby, what's wrong? It's Liam. He's been running a fever since last night, 102 degrees. And Kylie, she left Saturday morning. Grandma said she'd be back Sunday night, but it's Tuesday now. 3 nights, and she's not answering my calls. She's not answering my texts. Her voice cracked. I'm scared to take him to the hospital. What if they ask questions? What if I have to explain I'm alone with him and Dad's in space and his mom just left? But what if he's really sick? What if something happens and it's my fault because I didn't? She was sobbing now, deep, exhausted sobs that told me this wasn't the first time she'd cried alone in the dark. Slow down, Emma. Breathe. I was already out of bed, my chest tight, my hands shaking. The rage at Kylie hit me like a physical blow, but I pushed it down. Emma needed me calm. First thing, Liam's fever. Has he had any medicine? I gave him the infant fever reducer 2 hours ago, but it's not helping much and he won't eat and he just keeps crying and I don't know what to do. My throat closed. My 16-year-old granddaughter was alone with a sick baby, terrified to make a decision that might be wrong, and I'd let 2 years pass without fighting harder to stay in her life. Okay, listen to me carefully. I walked her through it as I pulled clothes from my closet, lukewarm bath, proper dosage timing, warning signs to watch for. Quick, clear instructions that would keep the baby safe until I could get there, because I was going. That decision was already made. Have you told your father? I tried. I tried calling the family liaison number, but they said Dad's in the middle of mission-critical operations and they can't patch me through unless it's a life-threatening emergency. I don't know if a fever counts. What if I'm overreacting? What if you're not overreacting? Emma, when did Kylie leave? Saturday morning. She said she was going to a spa in Santa Fe for the weekend with friends. Said she'd be back Sunday night. Emma's voice shook. It's Tuesday, Grandma. 3 nights. 16 years old and abandoned for 3 nights with a sick 18-month-old. I'm coming to Austin right now. Grandma, you don't have to. Yes, I do. I'm booking the next flight. I'll text you when I land. You're going to hold on until I get there. You understand me, okay? Her voice was so small, like a child. Because she was a child. Okay. I hung up, sat on the edge of my bed in the dark, let myself feel it, really feel it, for exactly 10 seconds. The rage at Kylie for abandoning a sick baby. The grief for Emma drowning alone at 16. The guilt that I'd stayed quiet when Kylie cut me off. The shame that I'd let 2 years pass without fighting harder. My hands were shaking. My chest felt like it was cracking open. My eyes burned, but I didn't have time to break down. Emma needed me right now. Not tomorrow. Not after I processed my feelings. No. So I stood up, Wiped my face, and I moved. Called my book club president at 3 a.m. Martha, I can't make Thursday's meeting. Family emergency in Austin. Go, Martha said immediately. We'll be here when you get back. Booked the 6:15 a.m. flight to Austin. First available, $347. Then I called the cruise line at 3:14 a.m. Some customer service rep in a call center probably wondering why a 68-year-old woman was canceling a Mediterranean cruise at 3 in the morning. The cruise I'd been planning for 3 years. My husband Marcus died 6 years ago. Lung cancer, 61 years old. We'd planned the Mediterranean cruise together, spent years marking up guidebooks, planning which bookshops to visit, which libraries housed which manuscripts. Libraries in Rome where scholars had walked for centuries. Bookshops in Barcelona we dreamed of visiting before cancer took him. Ancient streets and salt air, and every dream I'd deferred for 35 years of night shifts and crime scenes and putting everyone else first. It was supposed to be our retirement dream. Then cancer took him at 61 and left me with cruise brochures and an empty house. So I kept planning the trip alone this time, telling myself he'd want me to go. He'd want me to see those libraries. The cruise was supposed to honor him. Supposed to prove I could still want things even after losing him. The ship was leaving in 2 days. Ma'am, I need to inform you of the cancellation penalties. You'll forfeit $3,000 of your $8,500 deposit. The remainder will take 4 to 6 months to refund. $3,000, half a year's cruise savings from my pension. Yes, I said. Cancel it. Process it now. Are you sure? That's a substantial penalty. If you could provide documentation of an emergency. Cancel it now. Because here's what I understood in that moment. Standing in my dark kitchen with my phone pressed to my ear, Emma had been screaming for help and nobody heard her. She was 16 years old, alone with a sick baby, terrified to make a decision that might be wrong. And I was her last hope. Mediterranean libraries would still be there next year. Emma's childhood wouldn't. I hung up, looked at the suitcase I'd already packed for the cruise, summer dresses, walking shoes broken in around my New Orleans neighborhood, a leather journal for recording observations about ancient streets I'd studied for years. 3 years of dreaming. 3 years of saving. 3 years of telling myself, after I retire, after I've earned it, after I've paid my dues, then I get to want something for myself. Gone. But what I kept seeing was Emma's voice on the phone. Breaking. Desperate. Alone. 16 years old, and nobody believed her. I'd failed her once by staying quiet when Kylie pushed me away. I wouldn't fail her again. I packed in 20 minutes, go bag from my cop days, never quite unpacked. Then I sat on my bed and looked at the other suitcase, the one I'd packed so carefully for the cruise. I'd canceled Marcus's dream in 4 minutes to save my granddaughter. I'd make that choice again. But it still hurt. The plane landed in Austin at 9:47 a.m. I texted Emma, just landed. On my way to you now. Her response came immediately, thank you, Grandma. Thank you so much. The Uber driver tried to make small talk. I gave short answers, my mind already working the case. Because that's what this was, a case. 35 years of investigation experience told me everything I needed to know from that phone call. Emma's terror wasn't just about a sick baby. There was something bigger here. Something she couldn't or wouldn't explain over the phone. 2 years I'd let myself be pushed away. 2 years of silence while this was happening. 35 years taught me to spot predators. And I'd missed one living with my own son. The Uber pulled up to Adam's house at 10:23 a.m. classic style, 4 bedrooms, pristine lawn, the kind of house that looks perfect from the outside. Perfect facades hide the worst secrets. I'd learned that in 35 years of police work. I paid the driver and stood on the sidewalk for a moment, studying the house the way I used to study crime scenes. Details tell stories. The lawn was professionally maintained. But there was a stroller abandoned on the front walk, one wheel in the flower beds, like someone had been too exhausted to put it away properly. The front window blinds were closed tight. 10:23 on a Tuesday morning, and the house was shut against the world. Something wasn't right here. I walked up the path and knocked. The door opened almost immediately. Emma. Oh, God. I've seen a lot of things in 35 years. Bodies in alleyways, crime scenes that made rookies vomit, victims who'd been used up and thrown away like garbage. But seeing my granddaughter standing in that doorway hit me like a physical blow. She'd lost at least 20 pounds, maybe more, off a frame that couldn't afford to lose it. Her face was hollow, cheekbones sharp, eyes sunken so deep they looked bruised, dark circles like someone had rubbed ash under her eyes. She was wearing sweatpants 3 sizes too big and an oversized t-shirt that hung off her shoulders. She looked like someone who'd been running on empty for months. She looked like someone who'd stopped sleeping weeks ago. She looked like someone who was breaking, had been breaking, and nobody had noticed. This wasn't just stress from 3 nights alone with a sick baby. This was systematic neglect. This was a child who'd been forced to neglect herself while caring for someone else's child. Grandma. Her voice cracked, tears already spilling. You came. My throat closed. My eyes burned. My chest felt like someone had reached inside and squeezed my heart. But I didn't cry. Not yet. I stepped inside and pulled her into my arms. Felt how thin she was, ribs I could count through the t-shirt. Shoulders that felt fragile, like bird bones that might snap. This wasn't just weight loss. This was someone disappearing. I'm here now, baby. I whispered into her hair. I'm here. You're not alone anymore. She started crying. Not loud, quiet, exhausted sobs that told me she'd learned to cry silently, so she wouldn't wake the baby. That broke something in me. Because 16-year-olds shouldn't know how to cry without making sound. From somewhere in the house, Liam started crying. Emma pulled back immediately. Pure reflex. Muscle memory. That's Liam. He's been up since 5. I need to. Show me where he is. We'll go together. Because I needed to see it. All of it. The full scope of what was happening in this house. The house told its own story as we walked through it. The living room was immaculate. Designer furniture, perfectly arranged pillows, framed photos of Kylie and Adam and Liam looking like a catalog. Perfect family. But the kitchen, dishes stacked in the sink, empty bottles on the counter, formula containers scattered across the table, a high chair covered in dried food, and in the corner, a pack-and-play with a thin blanket. My stomach turned. Do you sleep down here? I asked. Emma's face flushed. Sometimes. If Liam's having a hard night, it's easier than going up and down the stairs. She was 16 years old. She was sleeping on the floor next to a pack-and-play because a baby needed her in the middle of the night. Questions were forming fast in my investigator's mind, but I held them back. First things first. We went upstairs. Liam was in his crib, face flushed, crying weakly. The moment Emma picked him up, he quieted. Recognition. Safety. This was his person. Hey, buddy. Emma's voice was soft. Automatic. I know you don't feel good. I stepped closer. Put my hand on Liam's forehead. He was burning up. Emma, this baby needs a doctor now. But Kylie said if I took him to the hospital without permission. I don't care what Kylie said. My voice was cold. Commander voice. The voice that had shut down arguments from criminals for 3 decades. This baby has been running a fever for over 12 hours. We're taking him to the ER. Get him dressed. Emma moved immediately. Relief flooding her face that someone else was making the decisions, that she wasn't alone anymore. We were out the door in 10 minutes. And as I buckled Liam into Emma's car seat and slid behind the wheel of my rental car, I made a decision. I wasn't just here to help Emma through a crisis. I was here to figure out exactly what had been happening in this house. And if what I suspected was true, if Emma had been drowning for longer than 3 nights, then someone was going to answer for it. 4 hours in the children's hospital ER. Ear infection, untreated, painful. The kind that happens when a baby's been showing signs of discomfort for days and nobody with authority noticed. The pediatric resident looked at Emma with concern as she examined Liam. Has he been fussy lately? Pulling at his ear? Not eating well? Yes, Emma said quietly. For about a week. I watched the doctor's face carefully. Watched the exact moment her expression shifted. The subtle change from routine examination to concern. I knew that look. I'd worn it myself 1,000 times. The look that says something's not right here. Someone should follow up. The doctor glanced at Emma, then at me, then back at her tablet. Made a note. The kind of note I used to make during welfare checks when I was a younger officer. Possible neglect. Requires monitoring. I'd written those notes myself. I knew exactly what she was thinking, and she wasn't wrong. And where are his parents? The doctor asked. Dad, his father, is an astronaut. He's on the orbital research station, Emma answered. She'd clearly rehearsed this. My stepmom, his mother, is away for the weekend. The doctor's expression shifted again. And you are his sister. Half-sister. I've been watching him for how long? 3 days. The doctor glanced at me. I'm the grandmother, I said. I arrived from New Orleans this morning. The resident nodded slowly, making notes in her tablet, prescribed antibiotics, gave Emma careful instructions about follow-up care. But I saw her make an additional note before closing the chart. We left the hospital at 2:15 p.m. Liam was finally sleeping comfortably in his car seat, antibiotics on board. Emma sat in the back next to him, one hand on his chest, monitoring his breathing. 16 years old and monitoring a baby's breathing like she was his mother. Thank you, she whispered. I didn't know if I should take him. Kylie always says I overreact about everything. There it was. That word, overreact. The word every manipulator uses to make their victims doubt themselves. Emma, where exactly did Kylie say she was going? Santa Fe spa weekend with friends. She left Saturday morning. Said she'd be back Sunday night. Emma wouldn't look at me. But she didn't come home. And she's not answering my calls. She's not answering my texts. And I keep thinking, what if something happened to her? What if she's hurt somewhere and I'm being selfish for being angry? Stop. I caught her eyes in the rearview mirror. You're not selfish. You're 16 years old and you've been abandoned with a sick baby for 3 nights. Your anger is completely justified. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Does your father know Kylie left? No. He can't know. If he finds out I couldn't handle things, if he thinks I failed. Baby, you didn't fail. None of this is your fault. But she didn't believe me. I could see it in her face. The guilt, the shame, the bone-deep conviction that she'd somehow caused this. That's what abusers do. They make you believe you deserve it. Back at the house, I got Liam settled in his crib with his first dose of antibiotics. Then I started asking questions. Not demanding, not interrogating, just observing, asking casual questions the way I used to when building cases. How long have you been taking care of Liam, Emma? She hesitated. I help out. Kylie says it's good for me to bond with my brother. That's not what I asked. How often do you feed him? Change him? Get up with him at night. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She looked away. Emma, I need you to tell me the truth. I can't help you if I don't know what's really happening. Most of the time, she whispered. I take care of him most of the time. Define most. Every night. Every morning. Kylie she usually sleeps in and she's busy during the day and I'm home anyway, so it just makes sense that She stopped, like she'd heard how it sounded. How long has this been going on? Silence. Emma. Since he was 3 months old. Her voice was barely audible. He's 18 months now. My chest tightened. My hands gripped the counter. 18 months. 18 months of this. 18 months of a 16-year-old girl being the primary caregiver for a baby. For 18 months, Emma had been drowning while my son floated 254 miles above Earth, thinking everything was fine. And your schooling? Kylie said I needed to be homeschooled. That I was having trouble adapting. Were you having trouble? No. My grades were fine. I had a 3.8 GPA. I was in honors English and AP history. Emma's voice broke. But Kylie told Dad I was struggling, and he believed her. I looked around the house with new eyes. The neglected kitchen that Emma clearly managed alone. The pack-and-play downstairs where my 16-year-old granddaughter slept on the floor. The baby monitor I'd seen on Emma's nightstand earlier. This wasn't a helpful stepmother encouraging family bonding. This was exploitation. Systematic, calculated, deliberate. Emma, show me your bedroom. We went down the hall. Emma's room was at the far end, smallest bedroom in the house, barely big enough for a twin bed and a desk. And on the nightstand, a baby monitor. You sleep with the monitor on. Every night. Kylie keeps hers off. She says the sound disrupts her sleep cycle. I sat on the bed. Cheap mattress, the kind that hurts your back. Looked at the desk covered with untouched textbooks gathering dust. Are you actually homeschooling? Emma's eyes filled with tears. I try. I really do. But Liam wakes up at 5, and by the time I get him fed and changed and down for his first nap, it's 9. And then he's up again by 10:30 and I have to make lunch and then his afternoon nap. And by the time Kylie comes home, I'm so tired I can barely think. She covered her face with her hands. I used to be a good student, Grandma. I had friends. I was on the debate team. I was happy. Her voice broke. And now I'm nobody. I'm just the built-in babysitter. My 16-year-old granddaughter was disappearing. I stood up, took Emma's hands in mine. Listen to me. You are not a babysitter. You are a 16-year-old girl who's been forced into a role that isn't yours. Do you understand me? She stared at me like she wanted to believe but couldn't. Over the next hour, I asked more questions, careful questions, building a picture. And with every answer, I understood exactly what I was looking at. This wasn't dysfunction. This was systematic predation. 35 years taught me to spot predators. And I'd spent 35 years reading liars. I knew what this was. Emma, did you try to tell your father about this? So many times. Her voice broke again. On video calls. In messages. I told him I was exhausted. I told him I wasn't actually doing schoolwork. He said I was being dramatic. He said Kylie was trying to help me. He said I should be grateful. 2 years I hadn't seen her. 2 years of silence while this was happening. I pulled out my phone and started taking photos. Emma's bedroom. The baby monitor. The neglected schoolwork. Then I went downstairs and photographed the kitchen. Evidence of one person doing all the work. Grandma, what are you doing? Building a case, I said. The way I used to build cases against criminals who thought they were too smart to get caught. Emma's eyes widened. You think Kylie's a criminal? I think she's exploiting you. And I'm going to prove it. Because here's what 35 years of police work teaches you. Everyone leaves evidence. Everyone has a pattern. And if you're patient enough, thorough enough, relentless enough, you can build a case that even the most skilled manipulator can't talk their way out of. I made a call to someone I should have called 2 years ago. Letitia Harris, my former partner from the Metro Police, now a private investigator. Janet, it's been months. What's going on? I need a background check. Deep dive. Name is Kylie Coleman. Approximately 32 years old, currently in Austin, Texas, married to my son. Silence on the other end. Then, this is about family. This is about my granddaughter being exploited and my son being blind to it. I need to know everything about this woman. Employment history, previous addresses, anything you can find. You think she's done this before? It wasn't a question. Letitia knew how I worked. I think predators don't wake up one day and suddenly know exactly how to isolate a teenage girl, manipulate her father, and create a perfect system of exploitation. I think they practice. And I think there might be other victims. Give me 48 hours. I'll call you when I have something. I hung up and went back to observing. Emma was in the kitchen making a bottle for Liam with the exhausted efficiency of someone who'd done it thousands of times. She didn't even look at the measurements anymore. Muscle memory. 18 months of muscle memory. Emma, I need to ask you about something. Your father sends money for your care, doesn't he? Her expression shifted. What do you mean? After your mother died 3 years ago, there would have been Social Security survivor benefits set up for you. Emma's face froze. Oh yeah. Dad set up an account for me. It's supposed to be for my expenses, clothes, school stuff, whatever I need. Do you have access to that account? Kylie manages it. She says it's easier that way since she handles all the household finances. My chest tightened. My stomach dropped. When's the last time you saw a statement? I don't think I ever have. There it was. Financial exploitation on top of everything else. Emma, those benefits are legally yours. They're not household money. They're specifically for your care and education. Her face fell. You think she's been using my money? I think we need to find out. Where does Kylie keep financial documents? In her office, but she keeps it locked. Show me. We went upstairs to a small room at the end of the hall. Home office. Door locked. I'd picked hundreds of locks in my career. This one took 45 seconds. Inside, a desk, filing cabinet, laptop. I opened the filing cabinet, found Emma's folder immediately. Bank statements going back 18 months. Survivor benefits, $2,500 monthly deposited. Total income over 18 months, $45,000. Current balance, $9,000. $36,000 gone. I pulled out statements and started photographing every page with my phone. Charges to luxury spas, designer clothing stores, high-end restaurants, a 5-day trip to Cabo in January, another spa weekend in Scottsdale in March. All of it paid for with Emma's survivor benefits. Money meant for a 16-year-old girl's education and care spent on Kylie's lifestyle while Emma slept on the kitchen floor next to a pack-and-play. I sat in that office for 10 minutes after photographing the last statement. Just sat there staring at numbers that represented my granddaughter's stolen childhood. $36,000. Money meant to honor Emma's dead mother. Money meant to give Emma security, education, a future, spent on spa weekends and designer handbags while Emma slept on a kitchen floor. My hands were shaking. My chest was tight. My eyes burned. For 35 years, I'd prided myself on professional detachment, on seeing the worst of humanity and not letting it break me. But this was my granddaughter. This was my son's child being exploited while he floated 254 miles above Earth, completely blind to her suffering. This was my failure too, because I'd stayed quiet when Kylie cut me off. I'd respected my son's marriage. I'd told myself Emma would reach out if she really needed me. And she had, at 2:47 in the morning, drowning, terrified, alone. I'd almost been too late. That thought, that I'd almost let this continue, made my stomach turn. I stood up, wiped my eyes, got back to work. Because guilt wouldn't help Emma. Justice would. Grandma, Emma's voice was small behind me. Is it bad? I turned around, showed her the statements. $36,000 of your money gone. While you've been raising her child, she's been living off your dead mother's benefits. Emma sank into the desk chair, stared at the numbers like they were written in a foreign language. I thought she was helping me. That's what Dad said. That she was helping homeschool me. And I should be grateful. She wasn't helping you, baby. She was using you. And she's been stealing from you while doing it. I kept photographing every statement, every charge, building the financial exploitation case alongside the parentification case. Because here's what I'd learned in 35 years. Emotional abuse is hard to prove in court. People can dismiss it as family conflict or parenting differences. But financial exploitation, that's black and white. That's provable. That's criminal. That night, I waited until Emma had fallen into exhausted sleep in her room. Real sleep, for the first time in days, because someone else was monitoring Liam. Then I went through every room in that house with the thoroughness of a crime scene investigator. Photographed everything. The pack-and-play in the kitchen corner where my 16-year-old granddaughter slept on the floor. The baby monitor on Emma's nightstand. The master bathroom with its expensive skincare products and designer makeup, while Emma's bathroom had drugstore basics. The guest room Kylie used as a closet, racks of designer clothes, shoes still in boxes, handbags worth thousands of dollars. All of it purchased while Emma wore clothes 2 sizes too big because she'd lost so much weight. I found Kylie's laptop in the office. Tried to access it, password protected. Made a note to have Letitia's tech contact try to get in remotely if needed. Went through the kitchen garbage, wine bottles, takeout containers. Evidence of someone eating well while Emma made simple meals she could prepare one-handed while holding a baby. I documented it all. Every detail, every disparity, every piece of evidence that showed the truth. This wasn't a helpful stepmother encouraging family bonding. This was systematic exploitation with a teenage girl as unpaid labor and a baby as the excuse. At 2 a.m., I finally went to the guest room and opened my laptop. Started organizing evidence into categories. Parentification, baby monitor in Emma's room, not parents' room, pack-and-play in kitchen where Emma slept on floor, Emma's testimony of 18 months primary care. Medical neglect, ear infection untreated for days. School abandonment, no actual homeschooling occurring. Financial exploitation, $36,000 of Emma's survivor benefits misused, Luxury purchases while Emma in poverty conditions. Statements showing pattern over 18 months. Isolation. Removal from school on false pretenses. No friends or social contact. Grandmother cut off from family. Father kept uninformed, 254 miles above Earth. Abandonment. 3-night disappearance with sick infant. No emergency contact provided to Emma. The evidence was damning, but I needed more. My phone buzzed. Text from Letitia. Preliminary results coming in. You were right to be suspicious. Call me in the morning. I looked at the clock, 2:23 a.m. I closed my laptop and looked out the window at Austin sleeping peacefully under stars. Somewhere in this city, Kylie was still gone, still not answering Emma's messages. But she'd be back soon. They always come back. Predators don't abandon their hunting grounds permanently. They just take breaks. And when she came back, she'd walk into a very different situation than the one she'd left. Because I'd spent 35 years hunting predators. And now one had made the mistake of hunting my granddaughter. The alarm went off at 6 a.m. I'd slept maybe 3 hours. Didn't matter. 3 decades of police work had trained me to function on minimal sleep during active investigations, and this was an active investigation. I checked on Emma first, still sleeping finally. Her face looked younger in sleep, reminded me she was just 16 years old, still a child herself. Liam was awake in his crib, babbling quietly. I picked him up, changed him, made a bottle. He settled against me easily, trusting. This was my grandson. I'd only seen him twice, once right after birth, once at 6 months, before Kylie cut me off completely. Now he was 18 months old, and I'd missed everything in between. At 7 a.m. my phone rang. Letitia, tell me what you found. Janet, you're going to want to sit down for this. I was already sitting. Go. Kylie Coleman. That's her current name, but she's used variations. Kylie Cole, Kylie Coleman with 1 L, even Kylie Jenkins once. Letitia's voice was grim. And she's moved through 6 states in 7 years. California, Oregon, Montana, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, now Texas. My stomach dropped. My pulse raced. Same pattern every time. She targets professional men, usually widowed or divorced, always with teenage daughters from previous marriages. Moves in fast. Within months, the teenage daughter becomes primary caregiver for younger children while Kylie lives her life. Jesus Christ. It gets worse. In each case, she fabricates problems with the teenager, school issues, behavioral problems, mental health concerns, gets them pulled from school, isolates them, and when the girls try to tell their fathers what's happening, the fathers don't believe them. Exactly. Letitia paused. She's that good, Janet. She knows how to manipulate these men, how to make them doubt their own kids, how to position herself as the reasonable adult while the teenage daughter looks troubled. I found 6 families so far. Probably more we haven't tracked down yet. 6 families, 6 states, 7 years. Tell me about them. First one I found, Madison, age 15, Oregon, 2018. Father was a commercial pilot. Kylie was live-in girlfriend for 8 months. Madison ended up in the ER with severe malnutrition and exhaustion. That's when the father finally saw what was happening. Kylie disappeared overnight. My chest tightened. Next, Sophia, age 16, Colorado, 2019. Father was a surgeon. Kylie actually married him that time. Lasted 11 months. Sophia tried multiple times to tell her father. He didn't believe her until she ran away from home. Police found her 3 states over living in a youth shelter. Isabel, age 15, Arizona, 2021. Father was a tech executive. Kylie stayed 2 years that time, longest placement yet. Isabel had a complete mental breakdown, hospitalized for severe depression and anxiety. Her therapist's notes specifically mentioned parentification and systematic emotional abuse. Montana 2019, we're still tracking details on that victim. Nevada 2022, same thing. Still gathering information. Letitia's voice softened. Janet, I spoke to 2 of the fathers, Colorado and Arizona. Both of them said the same thing. Their daughters tried to tell them the truth multiple times. And they didn't believe them until it was almost too late. Why didn't they press charges? Shame. Guilt. By the time they were ready to act, Kylie was already gone. New state, new name, new family. And these men were too focused on helping their daughters recover to pursue legal action across state lines. I closed my eyes. 6 families. 6 teenage girls. Emma was victim number 7. What about employment history? Spotty. Some hospitality work, some childcare positions. Ironic, right? But never stays anywhere long. Changes jobs every few months. Uses slight variations of her name. She knows how to stay just under the radar. Social media creates new accounts with each move. New identity, new backstory. But I found archived posts. Same pattern every time. Performs the devoted stepmother role online while the teenager does all the actual work. Posts about how exhausting motherhood is, how blessed she is, how much she loves being a mom. Meanwhile, she's exploiting teenage girls for free labor and living off their father's money. I stood up, started pacing with the phone. Liam watched me from his high chair, chewing on a teething toy. Can you get me victim statements? Documentation from the previous families. Already started. Madison agreed to write a statement. She's 21 now, lives in Seattle, still in therapy, but willing to help. Sophia's 19, also agreed to provide testimony. Isabel's therapist submitted clinical records documenting the abuse. I'm tracking down the Montana and Nevada victims now. What about criminal investigation? Has anyone reported her to law enforcement? No official reports I can find. The fathers were too humiliated, too guilty, and Kylie was always gone before anyone could organize legal action. Silence on the line. Janet, what do you need from me? Everything. Full timeline, all documentation, victim statements, financial records if you can get them. I need to build a case so airtight that my son can't deny it. The courts can't ignore it. And Kylie can't talk her way out of it. You want me in Austin? First flight you can get. Give me 12 hours. She hung up. 6 families. 6 states. 7 years. Kylie Coleman was a serial predator who'd been refining her system since 2017. Emma wasn't an isolated case. She was the latest victim in a 7-year hunting ground. And I was going to make sure she was the last. Kylie came home at 2:47 p.m. I heard her car in the driveway first. Expensive engine, luxury vehicle, the kind of car you can afford when you're living off other people's money, off a dead woman's benefits meant for her orphan daughter. Emma tensed immediately. She's here. I know. Let me handle this. I positioned myself in the living room where I could see the front door. Emma stayed in the kitchen with Liam, trying to look busy. The door opened. Heels clicked on tile. The smell of expensive perfume. Emma, sweetheart, I'm home. Kylie appeared in the kitchen doorway. 32 years old, hair professionally styled, designer athleisure, yoga pants and matching jacket that probably cost more than Emma's entire wardrobe. Tan like she'd spent the weekend poolside. She stopped when she saw me, but the surprise lasted only a second before a brilliant smile replaced it. The performance was flawless. 35 years of interviewing suspects taught me to spot the tells, the micro-expressions, the vocal shifts, the moments when the mask slips. But Kylie's mask didn't slip. Not even a flicker. She was good. Better than most criminals I'd interrogated. She'd had practice. 7 years of practice. 6 families before this one. 6 teenage girls who tried to tell someone the truth. And every single time, Kylie had made herself believable. And the girls looked troubled. But this time was different. This time, someone was watching with 35 years of experience spotting predators. This time, she was being recorded. This time, the truth was already documented. Kylie just didn't know it yet. Janet, what a wonderful surprise. Adam didn't tell me you were visiting. Lie number 1. Adam had no idea I was here. She crossed the room and pulled me into a hug. The kind that's all performance. No warmth. It's so good to see you. We've missed you so much, haven't we, Emma? Emma didn't respond. Kept her eyes on the bottle she was preparing for Liam. Kylie's smile didn't falter. Emma's been such a help with Liam while I was decompressing. Being a mom is so exhausting. You know, sometimes you just need a break. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. I always tell Adam, you can't pour from an empty cup. Emma understands that, Don't you, sweetheart? 3 nights. She'd been gone 3 nights while her baby had an untreated ear infection, and my 16-year-old granddaughter drowned in responsibility. But what she said was, sometimes you just need a break. I smiled back, pleasant, warm, hiding every ounce of fury. Of course. Self-care is important. Kylie beamed. Exactly. I'm so glad you understand. Adam worries sometimes that I'm not spending enough time with the baby, but I tell him, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? She moved to the fridge, pulled out a green smoothie and an expensive bottle. Didn't even glance at Liam in his high chair. Didn't ask Emma how the weekend went. Didn't ask if everything was okay. Just talked about herself, her needs, her weekend, her exhaustion. Santa Fe was absolutely gorgeous this time of year. The spa had this incredible hot stone massage. And how's Liam's ear infection? I interrupted. Kylie froze, just for a second. Ear infection? Yes. Emma took him to the ER yesterday. Severe infection. He's on antibiotics now. I watched her face carefully. Watched the calculation happen behind her eyes. Oh my goodness. Perfect concern. Perfect worry. Emma, sweetie, why didn't you call me? I tried. Emma said quietly, defeated. You didn't answer. My phone must have died. I'm so sorry, honey. Is he okay? He's fine now, I said. The doctor prescribed antibiotics. He should be fully recovered in a week. Kylie moved to Liam, picked him up from his high chair. He squirmed. Didn't settle against her the way he settled against Emma. Because Emma was his person. Emma had been his person for 18 months. Poor baby. Mommy's so sorry she wasn't here. She looked at me. Thank goodness you were visiting, Janet. It must have been scary for Emma to handle alone. There it was. The narrative shift, making herself the concerned mother. Making Emma the scared teenager who needed help. Erasing the 3 nights of abandonment. Rewriting reality in real time. Emma handled it well, I said evenly. She's clearly had a lot of practice caring for him. Something flickered across Kylie's face. Too quick to name, but I saw it. Well, she's such a natural with babies. Honestly, she's better at the baby stuff than I am sometimes. Kylie laughed, light, self-deprecating. It's like she was born to be a mom. Reframing the exploitation as Emma's natural talent. Making forced caregiving sound like an innate gift. Turning abuse into a compliment. I'd heard criminals do this hundreds of times. Take their crime and spin it into something innocent, even praiseworthy. How long are you visiting? Kylie asked, still holding Liam even though he was clearly reaching for Emma. I'm not sure yet. I wanted to spend time with Emma. It's been too long. 2 years is too long. That's so sweet. We really have missed you. Kylie finally handed Liam back to Emma. He immediately calmed. I'm going to go shower and unpack. Emma, could you handle dinner prep? I'm exhausted from the drive. She didn't wait for an answer. Just headed upstairs, designer bag over her shoulder. The moment her bedroom door closed, Emma's shoulders sagged. See, she whispered. That's what it's always like. She comes home, performs for 5 minutes, then disappears. I see it, baby. And I'm documenting all of it. Over the next 2 weeks, I watched and documented everything. I installed a small surveillance camera disguised as a phone charger in the living room. It uploaded footage to a cloud server in real time, the kind of surveillance that holds up in court if you know what you're doing. And I knew what I was doing. The footage told Emma's story better than words ever could. Day after day, Emma up at 5:43 a.m. with Liam, making bottles, changing diapers, feeding him, playing with him, singing to him, reading to him, being his mother in every way except biology. Kylie emerging at 11 a.m., taking coffee, leaving for the gym at 11:34 a.m., returning at 3:52 p.m., holding Liam for 18 minutes while photographing him from 43 different angles, handing him back to Emma, retreating to bedroom at 8:03 p.m., locking door. Emma up at 1:23 a.m., 3:47 a.m., 5:12 a.m. with Liam crying through the night. Total sleep approximately 4 hours. Kylie's bedroom door closed all night. Monitor off. The pattern repeated every single day. 18 months of this pattern. 18 months of systematic exploitation. But what the camera also captured was Kylie's social media creation. I watched her position Liam carefully on a blanket. Adjust lighting. Take 50 photos to get one perfect shot. Choose one. Add a filter. Type a caption. Motherhood is the hardest job in the world, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. My heart, my world, my everything. Posted at 2:47 p.m. 2 hours later, Kylie handed Liam to Emma and left for dinner with friends. Returned at 11:23 p.m., long after Emma put Liam to bed, cleaned the kitchen, and collapsed on the couch, too exhausted to make it upstairs. Social media post. Up all night with this little guy. Motherhood is exhausting, but so worth it. Posted at 11:34 a.m. Surveillance footage. Emma up at 1:23 a.m., 3:47 a.m., 5:12 a.m. with crying Liam. Kylie's bedroom door closed entire night. The lies were undeniable. Documented. Provable. I watched it all, documented it all, and felt my rage grow with every minute of footage. Because this wasn't just a lazy stepmother. This was calculated, systematic, performed. Kylie had perfected this routine over 7 years and 6 families. Emma was just the latest victim, but she'd be the last. I'd make sure of it. Letitia arrived in Austin with more devastating news. I've got statements from all 6 previous victims. She told me in my rental car parked 3 blocks from Adam's house. Madison, Sophia, Isabel, Hannah, Brianna, Ashley, all willing to testify, all describing identical patterns. She handed me a folder thick with documentation. And there's more, Janet. I found Kylie's real identity. My stomach tightened. What do you mean? Kylie and Brennan, born 1992 in California. Got married at 19 to a man named Robert Brennan. Had a daughter together. My chest went cold. She has a child. Had. Past tense. The daughter died at 18 months old in 2010. SIDS was the official cause, but Robert Brennan fought for an investigation. He claimed Kylie was neglectful, that she was always leaving the baby with others, that she showed no maternal instinct. 18 months old, the same age as Liam. What happened with the investigation? Inconclusive. No evidence of abuse. Death ruled as SIDS. But Robert divorced her immediately in 2011 and told anyone who'd listen that Kylie was responsible for their daughter's death. Does he have proof? No. Just his conviction that she didn't care enough, wasn't attentive enough. He says she was out with friends the night the baby died. Left their daughter with a teenage babysitter, a neighbor girl who was only 14. 14. The same age pattern emerging. So Kylie's been using teenage girls as free childcare for at least that long. Exactly. And after the divorce, she disappeared, changed her name. We can't find her anywhere from 2011 to 2016, 5 years underground. Then she reemerged as Kylie Coleman in 2017, same year she connected with Ashley's father in California. So she spent 5 years underground, then reemerged and started her pattern. Exactly. And here's the thing, Janet, every family she's targeted since has had one thing in common, a young child under 2 years old, specifically boys around 18 months, the same age her daughter was when she died. My blood went cold. What are you saying? I'm saying Kylie's not just exploiting teenage girls for free labor. She's recreating something. Either trying to replace the daughter she lost or, Letitia paused, or she's punishing the girls for surviving when her daughter didn't. I sat in that car for a full minute processing. Serial predator, 7 years, 7 families, 7 teenage girls, and a dead baby at the center of it all. There's one more thing, Letitia said quietly. I accessed Kylie's laptop remotely. Found email correspondence with someone named Marcus Vance. She pulled out printed pages. Marcus, how's the Texas situation working out? Kylie, perfect. The girl's totally compliant. Dad's in space, so no oversight. I've got at least another year before she ages out. Marcus, what about the grandmother? Thought she was cut off. Kylie, she showed up unexpectedly, but I've handled it. Playing nice, making her think I'm reasonable. She'll leave soon and everything goes back to normal. Marcus, you're good at this. Kylie, 7 years of practice. I know what I'm doing. I stared at the words. She ages out. Like Emma was a product with an expiration date. Who is Marcus Vance? still tracking him down. But based on the emails, he's been advising her, possibly coaching her. There are references to the California situation and what we learned in Nevada. He's been part of this from the beginning. Evidence of conspiracy, premeditation, calculated predation with an accomplice. I need all of this. Every email, every statement, every piece of documentation. Letitia handed me a thumb drive. It's all here. Plus analysis of her financial patterns, timeline of movements, victim testimonies, clinical documentation from Isabel's therapist, and preliminary legal research on charges that could stick in multiple jurisdictions. I took the drive, held it like it was made of gold. Because this was justice. This was the case that would end Kylie's hunting ground. This was how Emma got her life back. Week 3 brought a new development that made my blood run cold. Kylie announced over breakfast, casual, cheerful, that she wanted another baby. I was talking to Adam last night during our call. She told Emma, who was washing dishes, back-turned. We both agree it's time to expand our family. I want to give Liam a sibling close in age. My coffee cup stopped halfway to my mouth. Another baby. Yes. Isn't it exciting? I'm stopping birth control this month. Kylie beamed, touched her flat stomach like she could already feel it growing. Adam's thrilled. He always wanted a big family. Another baby. Another 18 months of Emma being exploited. Or more likely, Kylie would find a new victim, a new teenage girl to groom and exploit once Emma aged out. Because that's what predators do. They don't stop. They escalate. They hunt until someone stops them. That's quite a decision, I managed. We're so blessed. Emma's such a help with Liam. I know she'll be amazing with a second baby too. Emma's hands stopped moving in the dishwater. Her shoulders tensed. Of course, Kylie continued, we'll need to hire help eventually, but for now, having Emma here is such a gift. She's so natural with babies. I watched Emma's reflection in the kitchen window. Watched her face crumple for just a second before she forced it smooth again. That night, I found Emma sitting on her bed, staring at nothing. She's going to have another baby. I know, sweetheart. And I'll have to take care of that one too, for another 18 months until Emma's voice broke. Until I'm 18 and she doesn't need me anymore. Emma, that's what this is, isn't it? She's using me until I'm old enough to leave. Then she'll find someone else. Emma looked at me with hollow eyes. How many other girls has she done this to? I sat beside her, took her hands. 6 that we know of. You're the 7th. Emma froze. 6. 6 families. 6 states. 7 years. All teenage girls. All the same pattern. Oh my God. But you're going to be the last one, Emma. Because we're going to stop her. We're going to make sure she can't do this to anyone else ever again. Emma started crying. Not the quiet, controlled crying she'd learned. Loud, ugly, broken crying. I thought it was me. I thought I was the problem. That I wasn't grateful enough. Wasn't helpful enough. Wasn't. No, I pulled her against me. None of this is you. This is a predator who targeted you because you were vulnerable. Because your mother died and your father was distracted and you had survivor benefits she could steal. She picked you, Emma. You didn't cause this. 6 other girls. 6 other girls who all tried to tell someone and no one believed them. Just like your father didn't believe you. Emma pulled back. Does Dad know about the other families? Not yet. But he's going to very soon. Week 5 brought the phone call that changed everything. Adam called the house at 3 p.m. on a Thursday. Not a scheduled call. Emergency communication protocol. Kylie answered, all smiles. Honey, is everything okay? I couldn't hear his response from where I stood in the kitchen, but I watched Kylie's face shift. Watched the smile freeze. Watched calculation flash behind her eyes. What? Why, is something wrong with the mission? More talking from Adam's end. His voice urgent, clipped. Of course. Yes. Whatever you need. Kylie's voice was strained now. Controlled. When? She hung up, stood there for a moment, phone still in her hand, then turned to me. Adam's requesting early return from the station. Some kind of family emergency protocol. He'll be home in 2 weeks instead of 5. My stomach dropped, not from fear, but from hope. 2 weeks. He wouldn't say why, just that something came up and he needs to be on the ground. Kylie's eyes narrowed slightly. Do you know anything about this, Janet? I kept my expression neutral. Why would I know anything? You've been here for 3 weeks, asking a lot of questions, taking a lot of photos. So she had noticed. Good. I've been spending time with my granddaughter. The granddaughter I haven't seen in 2 years. Kylie held my gaze for a long moment, then smiled. But this smile was different, colder. The mask slipping just slightly. Of course. Family time. I understand completely. That night, I got a call from Commander Patricia Morrison at the Space Operations Center. Mrs. Washington, your son received an anonymous message 3 days ago through official channels. Someone claiming to be a family friend. The message alleged that his daughter was in crisis and he needed to return home immediately. Anonymous message. We arranged a private video call yesterday through secure comms. Emma confirmed she was safe but became extremely emotional during the conversation. Commander Washington has decided he needs to be on the ground to properly assess the situation. We're expediting his return. How did he seem? Shaken. Very shaken. He kept asking to speak to Emma again, alone, without anyone else present. We arranged it. They talked for 47 minutes. 47 minutes. Emma hadn't told me about this call. Later that night, I checked the surveillance footage. Found it. Emma, alone in the living room at 2 a.m., her laptop open on the coffee table, typing furiously, stopping, starting again, deleting, rewriting. She was crying, shoulders shaking, wiping her eyes with one hand while typing with the other. Then she hit send, sat there for a full minute staring at the screen, then closed the laptop, put her face in her hands, cried harder. My granddaughter had saved herself. Had found the courage to tell her truth one more time. Had reached out across 254 miles of empty space to her father and said, I'm drowning. Please believe me this time. And he'd listened. The next morning, I found Emma in the kitchen making Liam's breakfast. You contacted your father. Emma's face froze. The spatula clattered against the pan. How did you know? The Space Center called me, and I saw the footage from the living room camera. I'm sorry. I know you're building a case, and I probably messed everything up. Emma, stop. I crossed to her, took her shoulders. You did exactly the right thing. What did you tell him? The truth. All of it. That I've been Liam's sole caregiver for 18 months. That Kylie lied about school. That I tried telling him before and he didn't believe me. That I was drowning. Her voice broke. I told him if he didn't come home soon, I didn't know how much longer I could hold on. And he believed me, Grandma. For the first time in 18 months, he actually believed me. Tears spilled down her cheeks. He said he was coming home early. He said he was sorry. He said, she couldn't finish. He said what? He said he'd failed me. That he chose Kylie over me and he'd spend the rest of his life making it right. I pulled Emma into my arms. Felt her shake with sobs. She'd been holding back for 18 months. My son had finally heard her. Finally believed her. And he was coming home. 2 weeks later, I met Adam in Houston at the Space Operations Center Medical Facility. Letitia and I were waiting with 93 pages of evidence organized into manila folders, timeline, victim statements, financial records, surveillance footage, everything. When Adam walked in, he looked haunted. His flight suit was gone, replaced by civilian clothes. His face was drawn. He'd lost weight. I could see it in his face, his hands. He looked like someone who hadn't slept in 2 weeks. He looked like someone who'd been forced to see the truth and couldn't unsee it. Mom. His voice cracked. We hugged. 2 years of silence. 2 years of estrangement because I dared to question Kylie's intentions. I'm sorry, he whispered against my shoulder. I'm so sorry. You tried to warn me and I didn't listen. We'll talk about that later. Right now you need to see what I found. We sat in a small conference room, Letitia and I on one side, Adam on the other, and then we showed him everything. Started with the previous victims because he needed to understand the pattern before he could fully see Emma's truth. Ashley, California, 2017, 14 years old. Primary caregiver for Kylie's boyfriend's son. Suicide attempt after 8 months. Madison, Oregon, 2018, 15 years old. ER admission for malnutrition and exhaustion. Sofia, Colorado, 2019, 16 years old. Ran away from home. Found 3 states over in a youth shelter. Hannah, Montana, 2019, 16 years old. Still gathering details. Brianna, Nevada, 2022, 15 years old. Father finally saw the truth when he came home early from a business trip and found Brianna unconscious from exhaustion. Isabel, Arizona, 2021, 15 years old. Complete mental breakdown. Psychiatric hospitalization. Clinical diagnosis. Severe parentification abuse. 6 teenage girls before Emma. All parentified. All dismissed when they tried to disclose. All nearly destroyed before someone finally believed them. Adam's face went from shock to horror to nausea. 6. His voice was barely audible. 6 confirmed victims. Possibly more we haven't found yet. Then we showed him Emma. Her before photos from social media, debate team champion, honor roll student, bright smile, healthy weight. Her after photos from 2 weeks ago, hollow cheeks, sunken eyes, 20 pounds lighter, looking decades older. Adam made it sound like he'd been punched. Letitia pulled up the financial records. Emma's survivor benefits, $2,500 per month, $45,000 total over 18 months. Current balance, $9,000. She showed him the statements. Every spa weekend, every designer purchase, every luxury meal. $36,000 of your daughter's money. The money you set aside from her mother's Social Security benefits to ensure Emma's future, spent on Kylie's lifestyle while Emma slept on a kitchen floor next to a pack-and-play. Adam's hands were shaking. Then Letitia pulled up the emails, the correspondence with Marcus Vance, the casual discussion of Emma aging out, the references to previous victims, the calculated manipulation. She researched you, Commander. Found you online, learned about your wife's death, your daughter, your career path to the space program. Then she positioned herself in places where you'd meet her, that charity fundraiser for families of astronauts. Remember? That wasn't chance. She targeted you specifically because you were a widower with a teenage daughter and a demanding career that would keep you away from home for extended periods. Adam was crying now, silently, tears streaming down his face. Emma tried to tell me so many times on video calls and messages, and he couldn't finish. You didn't believe her, I said quietly. Because Kylie made sure you wouldn't. That's what she does, Adam. She's so good at it that she's done it successfully in 7 states over 7 years. You're not weak for falling for it. You're human, and she's a predator who spent years perfecting her hunting technique. We showed him the surveillance footage, 4 weeks of Emma's reality condensed into 30 minutes of devastating truth. Emma at 5:43 a.m. with Liam, exhausted, alone. Emma feeding, changing, soothing, playing, reading, singing. Emma up through the night. Every night. Kylie absent. Kylie's door closed. Kylie performing for social media then disappearing. The pattern never varying. 18 months of this. 18 months while Adam floated 254 miles above Earth, thinking his daughter was happy and his wife was devoted. By the end, Adam was sobbing openly, head in his hands, shoulders shaking. I destroyed her. My own daughter. I let this happen. I chose a predator over my child. Yes, I said, not gently, because he needed to hear it. You did. You failed Emma in the worst possible way. You didn't believe her when she told you the truth. You prioritized your wife's feelings over your daughter's suffering. You let your grief over losing your first wife blind you to what was happening to your daughter. Adam looked up at me, eyes red, face ravaged. How do I fix this? You start by believing her completely. No doubts, no questions. No, but Kylie seems so nice, or I didn't know. You own what you did. You apologize without making excuses. You do the hard work of earning her trust back. What if she can't forgive me? Then you earn it back anyway. You show up. You listen. You believe her every day for years, however long it takes. And you accept that she might never fully trust you again. That's the consequence of your choices, Adam. You live with it. I don't know if I can. You don't get to fall apart, I said coldly. Emma needs a father, not another child she has to take care of. So you pull yourself together. You go home and you protect your daughter. You confront Kylie. You file for divorce. You get her out of your house. You press charges. You make sure she can never do this to another girl ever again. Adam wiped his face, nodded. Okay. What do I say to Emma? The truth. That you failed her. That you're sorry. That you believe her now. That you're going to spend the rest of your life making sure she knows she was right and you were wrong. We drove to Austin in Letitia's rental car. Adam sat in the back, staring out the window, processing everything. He'd learned his perfect wife was a serial predator. His helpful stepmom was a systematic abuser. His happy family was a facade hiding exploitation and theft. The man he thought he was, blind, negligent, a failure as a father. I watched him in the rearview mirror. Saw him breaking. Saw him reassembling. Saw him becoming someone who understood the cost of his choices. Good. He needed to break before he could become the father Emma needed. We pulled into Adam's driveway at 6:47 p.m. Emma opened the door before we could knock. She must have been watching from the window. She saw her father and froze. They stared at each other for a long moment. Emma looked terrified, like she was bracing for him to tell her she'd caused problems, disrupted his life, ruined his marriage. Then Adam spoke. Emma. His voice broke. Emma, baby, I'm so sorry. I failed you. I didn't believe you when you needed me most. I chose someone else over your truth. I let you drown while I was congratulating myself on having a happy family. I failed you as a father in every way possible. Emma's eyes filled with tears. But I believe you now. I see what happened. I see what she did. I see what I allowed. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you know you were right. You were telling the truth, and I should have listened the first time you told me. Adam's voice cracked completely. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I'm so sorry I let this happen. I'm so sorry. Emma broke. Ran into her father's arms. They stood in the doorway holding each other, both crying, both broken, both beginning the long, hard work of healing. Behind them, I heard footsteps on the stairs. Kylie appeared at the top. Designer loungewear, perfect hair, perfect nails, perfect mask. Adam, you're home early. I wasn't expecting. She stopped. Saw his face. Saw Emma in his arms. Saw me standing behind them with Letitia. Something shifted in her expression. The mask cracking. Calculation flashing behind her eyes. What's going on? Adam gently moved Emma aside, faced his wife. Pack a bag. You're leaving tonight. Silence. Heavy, thick silence. The kind of silence that fills a room after truth explodes. Kylie stood frozen at the top of the stairs, calculating. I could see it happening behind her eyes, running through options, looking for angles, searching for the crack in our case where she could wedge in doubt. But there was none. No more manipulation. No more gaslighting. No more hunting. She was caught and she knew it. Kylie's perfect smile faltered. What? Adam, honey, what are you talking about? I know everything. California, Oregon, Montana, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona. I know about Ashley, Madison, Sophia, Isabel, Hannah, Brianna. I know you targeted me specifically. I know you've spent 18 months exploiting my daughter. I know you're a serial predator who's been destroying teenage girls for 7 years. Kylie's mask cracked completely. The charming stepmom disappeared. Something colder, harder took its place. Adam, your mother has been filling your head with lies. No. She's been showing me the truth. Surveillance footage, financial records, emails from your laptop, testimony from 6 previous victims, 7 years of documentation. I've seen it all. Adam, please. I've seen everything, Kylie. Every lie, every manipulation, every moment of exploitation. The emails where you discuss Emma aging out. The financial records showing you spent $36,000 of Emma's survivor benefits. The footage of you leaving Emma alone with Liam for days while you pretended to be an exhausted mother on social media. I don't know what she's told you, but I've seen the emails, the ones where you talk about picking Texas specifically because of NASA families. Where you discuss Emma like she's a project to manage with your accomplice Marcus Vance. Where you admit you know what you're doing is wrong but do it anyway because you've gotten away with it for 7 years. Kylie froze. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow morning. I'm filing for emergency custody of Liam. I'm pressing charges for financial exploitation, child abuse, and fraud. And I'm cooperating with investigations in 6 other states. You're done, Kylie. No more victims. No more hunting. No more destroying teenage girls. Adam, please. Kylie started down the stairs. You don't understand. Emma's troubled. She's always been troubled. Your mother has poisoned her against me. Stop. Adam's voice cut like ice. I'm not listening to your lies anymore. I've seen the proof. 6 other families. 6 other girls who all said the same things Emma said. 6 other fathers who didn't believe their daughters until it was almost too late. I'm not making that mistake again. You're throwing away our marriage over my daughter. Yes, absolutely. Without question. You exploited her. You stole from her. You isolated her. You destroyed her. And I'm going to make sure you never get the chance to do it to another child ever again. Kylie looked at Emma, at me, at Letitia, at Adam, calculating one last time, trying to find an angle. But there was none. You have 1 hour to pack essentials and leave, Adam said. If you're not gone by then, I'm calling the police, and trust me, they're already very interested in talking to you. Kylie's face went cold. The mask dropped completely. This isn't over, she said quietly. I'll fight this. I'll make sure everyone knows what a vindictive, bitter old woman Janet is. How she manipulated you. How Emma's mentally unstable. How? Go ahead and try, Letitia said calmly. We have evidence you can't talk your way out of. 6 victim statements, financial records, surveillance footage, email correspondence, clinical documentation, timeline spanning 7 states and 7 years. You can't spin this, Miss Coleman. Or should I say Miss Brennan? Kylie froze. We know about your daughter, Letitia continued. We know about Robert. We know about 2010. We know you've been recreating and reenacting and punishing teenage girls for 13 years. Something dangerous flashed in Kylie's eyes, but she said nothing. 43 minutes later, she came down with 2 bags. Designer luggage, expensive clothes, not much else. She stopped at the door, looked at Adam one last time. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is not believing Emma sooner. Kylie left. Her car pulled out of the driveway at 7:34 p.m. And for the first time in 18 months, Emma was safe in her own home. From upstairs, Liam started crying. Emma moved automatically. Muscle memory, trained response, started toward the stairs. Adam put a hand on her shoulder. I've got him, Emma. You've done enough. It's my turn now. Emma stared at her father like she didn't quite believe this was real. Go rest, baby. Really rest. Take a shower. Get in comfortable clothes. Eat something. I'm going to take care of my son. And you're going to be a 16-year-old girl who gets to have her own life back. But he likes. I know. I know he's used to you. But he's going to have to get used to me. Because I'm his father and taking care of him is my job, not yours. You're off duty, Emma. Permanently. Adam went upstairs. Emma collapsed against me, sobbing, releasing 18 months of terror and exhaustion and relief. She's really gone. Really gone. And Dad believed me. He believes you, Grandma. Emma's voice broke. It's over. It's really over. The exploitation is over. The healing is just beginning. But yes, baby. You're safe now. You're free. I held her and thought about the Mediterranean cruise, about the libraries in Rome I'd never see, about the bookshops in Barcelona gathering dust without me, about the ship that had sailed without me while I flew to Austin to answer a 2:47 a.m. phone call. And I knew, absolutely knew, I'd make the same choice again. Because this moment right here was worth everything. The first month after Kylie left was the hardest. Not because of Kylie. Because Emma had to learn how to exist without a baby's needs dictating her every move. She'd wake at 5:43 a.m. out of habit. Panic when she didn't hear Liam crying. Take 15 minutes to remember, he's with Adam. He's safe. I'm allowed to sleep. She'd hear a baby cry in a store and flinch, pure reflex. Her body already moving to soothe before her brain caught up. She'd see formula in Adam's kitchen, and her hands would start reaching for it before she stopped herself. It's like I forgot how to be just Emma, she told me once. We were sitting in my New Orleans kitchen drinking coffee at noon to noon, because she'd finally slept past dawn. I don't remember who that is anymore. That's what parentification does. It doesn't just steal childhood. It reprograms you. Makes you believe your worth is measured in how well you serve others. Makes you feel guilty for having needs of your own. Emma started therapy 3 times a week, twice for trauma, once for an eating disorder the therapist diagnosed within 20 minutes of their first session. 18 months of caring for a baby means 18 months of eating whatever you could grab with one hand while holding him with the other. The therapist explained to me after Emma signed a release. She stopped recognizing hunger cues, stopped prioritizing her own nutrition, stopped believing her body's needs mattered. Her body adapted to starvation mode. Starvation while Kylie ate at expensive restaurants on Emma's dead mother's money. Adam visited every weekend, brought Liam. The visits were stilted at first, painful silences, Emma's guarded posture, Adam's obvious guilt weighing down every interaction. I don't know how to forgive you yet, Emma told him during week 3. We were in my backyard, Liam playing on a blanket, Adam sitting across from Emma at my patio table. Adam started crying. I don't know how to forgive myself either. Good, Emma said. You shouldn't. Not yet. Maybe not for years. I'll wait, Adam said. However long it takes. You don't get to wait passively, Emma said. Her voice was stronger than it had been in months. Therapy was helping. You have to earn it. You have to show up. You have to prove you believe me now. You have to do the work. I will. I am. I'm in therapy too. I requested permanent transfer to ground operations. No more space missions. I'm staying on Earth, close to you. Emma looked at her father. Really looked at him. You gave up space. I reached the stars, Adam said quietly. But I lost my daughter in the process. The stars will still be there. You won't always need me. Something shifted in Emma's face. Not forgiveness, not yet. But maybe the beginning of it. Okay, she said. Keep showing up. Keep proving it. We'll see. And slowly, so slowly, they started rebuilding. Not the relationship they'd had before, that was gone, broken, irreparable. But something new. Something honest. Something built on Emma's truth instead of Kylie's lies. Kylie was facing charges in 4 states now: financial exploitation in Texas, child endangerment in Arizona, Colorado, and Oregon based on victim testimony, fraud charges pending in 2 more states. All 6 previous victims were willing to testify. Madison, Sophia, Isabel, Hannah, Brianna, Ashley. They'd found each other through Letitia's investigation. Started a support group. Called themselves the 7, to include Emma. 7 teenage girls who survived. 7 families destroyed. But 7 survivors refusing to be silenced anymore. 3 months later, I'm in my kitchen in New Orleans on a Saturday morning. Emma lives with me now. Her choice. Legal guardianship filed within 2 weeks of Kylie leaving. I love Dad, she told me. And I'm glad he finally believes me. But I can't live with him yet. I need space to figure out who I am when I'm not taking care of someone. I need to be Emma. Just Emma. Not Emma the caregiver. Not Emma the parentified child. Just Emma. So she moved to New Orleans, got her own room, painted it herself, chose her own furniture, made it hers. Started therapy 3 times a week. Enrolled in the local high school for spring semester. She's 17 now, senior year. Making friends. Joining clubs. Living a normal teenage life. She made honor roll her first semester back. Joined the debate team. Her old passion rekindled. I forgot how good it feels to argue about things that don't matter, she told me after her first tournament. To care about debate topics instead of whether a baby's fever is high enough for the ER. Adam visits every other weekend. Drives from Austin with Liam. The visits are better now. Less painful, more honest. He requested permanent transfer to ground operations. No more space missions, no more leaving Earth. The view from up there was incredible, he told me once. But I missed everything that mattered down here. I won't make that mistake again. This morning, Emma comes downstairs at 9 a.m. healthy weight restored slowly, carefully with therapeutic support. Clear eyes. Rested face. She looks 17. Finally looks her age. Morning, Grandma. What are you making? Cinnamon rolls. Your recipe, the one you perfected last month. She laughs, pours coffee, sits at my table. This is normal. This is what 17 should look like. What are your plans today? I ask. Debate practice at 11 o'clock. Then meeting Maya and Jasmine downtown. We're going to that new bookstore you told me about. Movie at 7 o'clock. Plans. Friends. A life. Oh, and Dad called last night. He's bringing Liam tomorrow for lunch. Perfect. I'll make that pasta dish he loves. Emma sips her coffee. Then, Grandma, I've been thinking about something. What's that? Your cruise. The Mediterranean one you canceled to come save me. Emma, no. Let me finish. She sets down her coffee cup, looks at me directly. You gave up 3 years of planning, 3 years of dreams. Libraries in Rome, bookshops in Barcelona. All of it for me. I'd do it again. I know. But I was thinking, what if we went together? After I graduate next year, before college? Just us. Her voice catches. I want to see the libraries you wanted to see. The ones you and Grandpa Marcus plan to visit. I want to walk through bookshops in Barcelona with you. I want to celebrate that you saved me, that I survived, that we're both here and whole and free. My eyes fill. You want to take my cruise with me? I want us to take our cruise together. Not the trip that almost was, but the trip that is. The one where we celebrate everything we fought for. Emma's voice is steady now. Strong. You gave up your dream to save me. Let me help you reclaim it together. I cross the kitchen, pull my granddaughter into my arms. Yes, I whisper. Yes, we'll go. We'll see every library, every bookshop, every ancient street, together. Summer after graduation. Really, really. 3 weeks exploring everything I dreamed about. But this time, I won't be alone. I'll have you with me. Emma hugs me tighter. Thank you for everything. For believing me. For fighting for me. For canceling your dream so I could have mine back. You don't thank someone for doing what they should have done. Yes, you do. Because most people don't. Most people choose the easier path. You chose the hard one. You chose me. We stand in my kitchen holding each other. Grandmother and granddaughter, survivor and savior. Both healing. Both growing. Both learning what love looks like when it's fierce and sacrificial and willing to burn down the world to protect the people who matter. Outside, New Orleans is waking up. The city where I spent 35 years wearing a badge. The city where I retired thinking my important work was done. I was wrong. The most important case of my life didn't happen in a police station. It happened at 2:47 a.m. when my phone rang and my granddaughter's voice broke asking for help. The Mediterranean is waiting, but not yet. First, Emma has senior year, debate tournaments, college applications, building a life that's hers. First, Emma has therapy, healing, recovery, learning to be Emma again. First, Emma has time. All the time she needs to remember who she was before Kylie. To discover who she is after. To become who she's meant to be. And I have time too. Time to watch her heal. Time to watch her grow. Time to watch her transform from a drowning girl into a thriving young woman. The cruise isn't canceled anymore. It's postponed. Transformed. Made better. Because next summer I won't walk through Roman libraries alone. I'll walk through them with my granddaughter beside me. A girl who survived, who fought, who refused to be broken. That's the journey that matters. Not the trip I planned, but the one I earned. The one we earned together. And when we stand in those ancient libraries next year, surrounded by centuries of knowledge and stories and survival, I'll think about the phone call that changed everything. The 2:47 a.m. moment when Emma reached out and I chose her over everything else. I'll think about the Mediterranean cruise I canceled in 4 minutes. And I'll know, absolutely know, it was the best decision I ever made. Because some dreams are supposed to be deferred. Because better dreams, truer dreams, are waiting on the other side of sacrifice. I dreamed of Mediterranean libraries for 3 years. Now I'll see them with the person who matters most. That's not a compromise. That's not settling. That's everything.